Hey, welcome to Bad Doc Boone Sonic Cellar. It's Bad Doc Boone here. Anyway, welcome to the third episode. As we get to the final winding down 2025, let's talk about streaming or whether or not you should actually own music. Sorry for being all bundled up. I was about to go outside and take care of something, but it's being taken care of, and it's about to go dark anyway, so anyway, we live in a world where, thanks to streaming services, you can have a wide variety of music, movies, yada yada yada. A wide variety of entertainment, if you pay for the service at the palm of your hands. Theoretically, never having to leave the house or do anything like that. Now, in terms of actually streaming music, it seems like everything should be at the palm, convenient and available. And I'm sure some people out there think, there's not any real reason to actually own physical copies of music. Well, let me explain a couple reasons to actually own physical copies of music. First, streaming is convenient. However, the streaming services also pay artists crap. Yeah, it's like they're basically getting pennies on the dollar, if that. Now, there have been stories about artists on Spotify, making millions of streams and basically getting paid enough for a large pizza. And if they're lucky, like a 2-liter bottle of soda. If they're lucky. After all, there's no guarantee of that. And, it's basically something the record labels, I think, have wanted for a long time, where they get all the profit and the artist doesn't get shit. But if you actually buy physical copies of the music, the artist is at least going to get paid some of that money. They're not going to get wealthy by any chance, especially in today's climate, but they're going to earn a lot more than they would if you streamed it. Also, yeah, streaming is convenient, but what if your favorite artist has a falling out with a streaming service? A number of artists in the last year or so have pulled their stuff from Spotify. Much of it due to disagreements over their alignment with the Israeli government and what's happening in Gaza, but some of it is also due to the fact that what Spotify pays artists. So, in other words, you could have a favorite artist and you get on Spotify one day and then find out that they pulled all their music from there and you suddenly don't have access to it anymore. Yes, we'll go to the option around that later, but if you actually buy an album, like a 12-inch vinyl record, or a 7-inch single, or a CD or a cassette, the physical copy is yours. You can play it whenever you want, provided you have a player. This is also the case if you buy a download of the record. If you decide to buy it digitally and buy a download, you back it up onto a portable music player and, you can plug it in wherever the mood suits you. Now, it's not a perfect situation, but we'll get to that later. But it is a good one. And also, yes, there's always to do more than one streaming service at a time. However, at some point, it's going to cost money. Yes, you might do one for free and think you're getting around it that way, but eventually there's one you're going to have to pay whatever money a month to have to access, because they might have your favorite artist and the free one doesn't. And while it seems a little awkward, it also costs some money in your budget in the long run. Granted, it costs more money to buy each of the additional piece of physical music, but you pay for it once, it's yours. And yes, I know somebody's going to say, you don't actually own the rights to the music on there. You just own the physical product. I get that. But you get what I mean. It's yours. And that $15 to $30 you pay for that is, in the long run, more convenient than paying, that amount per month. You're going to spend a lot more money. But as I said, there are disadvantages as well. First one, it takes up some prime physical space in your area, wherever you store your music. You gotta make space for a CD collection or your tape collection, or that collection of vinyl. And vinyl especially takes up space. And if you have limited space, you got to be careful. Also, you got to make sure you have the equipment to play it, or try to make sure that the equipment you have might have a free download attached to it and play it that way. But, it gets complicated. But why is that important? But why should you still own music? Well, one, it supports artists better than just paying for a streaming service. Two, it's yours. That copy is yours. You can play it whenever you want. And three, the one I haven't gotten to yet. Yep, if you have a tape deck or a CD player that runs on batteries, if the internet crashes, and some places it crashes quite often, you can still play the music. And if you have the downloads and you have it backed up to a portable music player that's all charged up, you can play the music, even possibly during a power outage. And this isn't the end of the world. It's not the beginning of the world. And if you choose to do streaming, you're not a bad person. Or at least I'm assuming you're not a bad person. I don't know you personally, but, we all do it. I admit I do some streaming myself because we can't own everything we want to listen to. Most of us don't have the space for it. But, I do encourage you, if given the option and the possibility to actually own a physical copy from a band or an artist you really like, I encourage you to do it. Trust me, you'll be a lot happier in the long run, and it's a good safeguard against, let's say, if they have a falling out with your favorite streaming service and pull it, or it's something you can still play, like if there's a power outage and you have and portable music player is charged up and have a way to broadcast it that's charged up. Anyway, this is Bad Doc Boone. If you like what you saw here or you liked our previous videos, hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know what's coming up. Anyway, I hope all's well out there. Happy holidays, and sorry, hopefully I got this in time. Anyway, it's getting hot in here. I'm going to take off some of these layers. Talk to you later. Bye.